Sup, motherfuckers? This is the first video that we're going to be having this for every week. Just to go straight into it, for the Week 2 recap, we saw that Paul Ernster's team Ramrod defeats Tommy's Macklin Bitches 90-45. And this was all because of Tony Gonzalez's 14.4 points. He didn't even have anyone that was good. Tommy just sucked. That's me. Fuck you, Paul. That was bullshit. Had the worst team in the world. John's team Vogelsong defeats Ashton's Finger Blast, and I did not expect this, but it was 120.6 to 63.4. And this was all because of Trent Richardson, who's a rookie this year, getting 27.3 points. This was the most convincing win, with over 57.2 points in favor for John. Ashton, what the hell was going on there, man? That looked awful. Just as bad as mine. Lions JV's mom's team defeats Ramneek's Stinkapoo 134.1 to 92.6. And this is off of Reggie Bush's 32.3 points. He rushed 172 yards against the Raiders. Whoever thought that this was going to be an actual good player was lucky. And I'm going to call out that Reggie Bush is probably going to be the best value pick of the draft that we've seen. Good pick, Lion. Unbelievable game, and I don't know. He did pretty alright against the Texans the week before, and that's supposed to be a really good defense, so we'll see how that turns out. Stefan's Yes We Can defeated Karan's Sprintin' Bolton team 112 to 82 points. This is all because RG3 is a beast, and he got 32.6 points. Stefan probably has the best core of quarterbacks, and that's including Michael Vick. Just because Michael Vick, even with interceptions, still gives you all those good points. Good and very decisive win. I think Stefan's going to have a very tough time getting into the playoffs if that could happen. My game of the week, which didn't turn out to be that case, was Elias's Foster Stronger defeating K-Shit's Spartans. This was all because Victor Cruz was a stud somehow with 26.1 points, and K-Shit's is Julio Jones sucking dick and only getting 2.3 points. That was awful, man. I don't know what was going on. Atlanta just destroyed freaking Peyton Manning for 3 straight quarters, and they couldn't get anything out of Julio Jones? That's, sorry, man. That didn't look too hot. Herman's Niggas loses against Ashwin's Waffle Skates 93 to 86.8. This is even with Herman having the 2 highest scorers in the game, with Vincent Jackson with 19.8 points and Dwayne Bowe with 23.8 points, which I think is going to be a very good pick throughout the year. And that's just because Hernandez got hurt, the tight end, and Chris Johnson actually is just not good. I really thought Chris Johnson was going to be better this year, especially with Mike Munchak being an offensive lineman, Hall of Famer. And their offensive line coach is also a Hall of Famer. Like, what's going on there? Sucks. Sorry, Herman. Awards for the week. Most points goes to Lion Andersons, who got 134.1 points. Least points goes to me with 45.1 points. It's the worst game I've ever had in my life. And the best win goes to Ashwin's Waffle Skates with 6.2 points. Best game is for the one who wins the closest game of the week. So congratulations, Ashwin, on your first win. So, starting off with the leading board, we see that Elias's team, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, JV's team, Team Bagogosong, and Lions, JV's Mom Has Got It Going On, are all 2-0. And at the bottom is me, Ramning Sticky Poo, and Karan Sprintin' Bolton. Who's going to be the first one to actually lose, and who's going to be the first one to actually win? We'll see next week. And coming on in this week is a really tough game for me against Ashton, with Ashton being a 27.4 point favorite. And I think that's a little overhyped because I have some crappy players still on my lineup, but it looks like he's going to be able to take over this division. Paul versus Ramneek, with Paul being only a 3.4 favorite. Ramneek, I think he can actually win this one. We'll see how it turns out. Stefan versus Elias, with Elias as a 12.1 favorite. I'm going to go with the upset, saying Stefan's going to win this game. Sorry, Elias, this is 2 weeks in a row that I think that you're going to lose. Actually 3 weeks, because I thought you were going to lose your first week. Ashton versus Karan, with Karan being a 20-point favorite. Let's see who's the worst team, actually, out of all of us, or at least who has a trophy. Karan, if you win this one, I'm going to give Ashton that trophy, and you will no longer be considered the worst team in our league. K-Shit versus Herman, with K-Shit being the 6.5 point favorite. That's actually a pretty good game. I'm going to keep it with K-Shit because I think that he's got a good team and it's going to be Studley. The game of the week, though, is JV's Team Bogoldaklon versus his mother, with his mother having a 30-point favorite. I'm going to have to go with his mother because his mother does have it going on, not only in this game, but also in real life. And she's an awesome person. Love you, John. Alright, we're going to go over a couple of new rules that I'm thinking we should throw in. This first one is called the bet, and I think we should actually do this one. So, this is what I wrote down for it. Every week, opponents must agree on a bet, no matter how big or how small, as long as it's agreed upon between the two people. The loser of the week must videotape the bet being occurred before the following Saturday, which is the day before we actually start playing again, and submit it to the commissioner or post on the forum or Smack Talk board for verification. If the loser does not actually record and follow through with the bet, they forfeit all points gained from that previous week. Please note that wildcard positioning is all depending on total points made over all games, not the highest wins. So if you're trying to go for that number 5 or number 6 spot and you don't do a bet, that's pretty much saying you probably won't get it. If you give up, it could mean you lose points and everything. So that's the one bet. Last week, for example, me and Paul agreed on me doing an abortion shot. Don't know what that is. I said yes, so I'm going to have to videotape that and send it out to everyone so you guys can see it. And every week I'm hoping that that'll be the case, so it'll be really funny. Other ideas that I have is like mixing a drink for someone else and they have to drink it, or I have to drink that, or something like that, or anything, whatever. But I think this is something that we should install. It'll be really funny because losers have to do it every week and everyone will be able to see it. If they send it to me, I'll post it on an area so everyone can watch them. Yeah, so you guys think about that. I think the bet is going to be a great one. The other rule, and this is one that I thought, and I've talked to other people about this, and I think this is a great idea, is the consolation bracket. So consolation brackets are people who didn't get to playoffs. Usually in that case, no one gives a crap and they just stop playing and no one really cares. In order to compete against that, we're going to do one thing. Losers who do not enter the playoff bracket and compete in the consolation bracket, if you win the consolation bracket, you can choose where your pick will be, your order will be in next year's draft. So that means if you win it all in the consolation bracket, you can get the #1 pick. Or you can choose to move down regardless of where you are. It's pretty much to encourage people to keep on playing, kind of watch what everyone else does in the playoffs and everything. Also, know that this is also already in the case of what we're doing. There is going to be something similar to the Sacco Bowl, which is the losers of the losers. So the losers of all of the games in the consolation bracket. So the losers of all the losers in the consolation bracket will be given a punishment deemed fit by all owners. This will be decided before the playoff/consolation brackets begin. So this is week 13 or week 12. So everyone gets to decide. We'll vote on it through ESPN and we'll figure that out. But pretty much the loser of the losers has to do something in order to keep in this league next year. This is all under the assumption that we're doing this next year, and hopefully if this year turns out well, then we have money next year, we can ramp it up and do some things like parties and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's this week's Week 2 recap. Good luck everyone on this upcoming week.